No tea for me. The king taxed paper, the king taxed glass, the king taxed paint. Now the king is taxing tea. We won't pay it, the American colonists shouted. We want the king to repeal the unfair taxes. Many colonists liked to drink tea. They didn't think the tea tax was fair because they didn't get to decide how the tax money was spent. So many people just stopped drinking tea. Britain lowered the tax a little, but would not take away all the tax. The colonists got more and more angry. They decided not to buy any tea at all. We won't pay. It was December 16, 1773. More than 7,000 angry colonists stood on the Boston dock. 3 big British ships were in the harbor. They carried a lot of tea. The governor told the people to let the ships unload the tea. The colonists objected to the order. The colonists were very angry. If the ships were unloaded, the colonists would have to pay the tea tax. They wanted the ships to leave without unloading. A leader named Samuel Adams held the meetings. He told the people not to let the ships unload. The people cheered. The colonists take action. One ship started to sail away, but the British said the ship had to stay in port until the colonists paid the tea tax. The colonists made a bold plan. That night, rebellious colonists disguised themselves. They dressed as American Indians. They rubbed coal dust all over their faces. They did not want the British to know who they were. They carried small axes. Yelling very loudly, the colonists stormed the docks. Groups of colonists ran onto the 3 ships at the same time. A bold tea party. The men got the keys to the storage hatches. They unlocked the doors. They grabbed the chests of tea. They chopped holes in the tea chests. That way, the chests would not float in the water like corks. Their axes crashed into the dry wood. Then they tossed the chests of tea over the sides of the boats. Some of the tea was still floating in the water the next day. The men beat the crates with paddles to make them sink. They did not want any of the tea to be saved. The British punished the colonists. British ships in the harbor left the colonists alone. The British king did not. Back in England, King George was very, very angry. He did not like this tea party at all. He did not like the way colonists had acted. Their actions did not have any benefit for him or his country. The king quickly closed Boston Harbor. That meant that no goods at all could reach Boston by ship. King George also took many powers away from the colonists. We want to be free. Most colonists were pleased about the Boston Tea Party. They felt the rebels had done the right thing. Their act had many advantages. It helped unite the colonists. It showed the king that the colonists would take a stand. It showed they would not pay unfair taxes. The battle for American freedom had begun. Liberty Tea. The tea plant does not grow in America. By 1776, some colonists were making their own kind of tea. They mixed many plants and flowers. They used rose petals, peppermint, and raspberry leaves, showing support. America had 13 colonies. To support freedom, some women wore a new hairstyle. It had 13 curls, 1 for each colony. See how we grew. In 1773, about 2 million colonists live along the coast of the Atlantic Ocean. Today, more than 19 people live in New York State alone.